Think about why organizations need to change. You tell me, what are some reasons why an organization might need to change or evolve? Rochelle? Scalability? Tim? New markets? Alex? To grow? Dave, competition? You got a bunch of them. There they are. There's all kinds of reasons why organizations have to evolve and change and become better at what they do. You hit a lot of them. Globalization, increased competition, shrinking margins, work-life balance. All of the things that are up there are reasons why organizations have to change. And many organizations use some of these reasons as excuses why they can't get to where they want to be. You know, in other words, any reason can become an excuse if we just give up and do nothing about it. So the work we do is based upon 35 years of research and implementing a proven process for change that will help you get to where you want to be. You will become much more effective as a leader within this organization and help the organization get to where you need to be. But before we go there, I want to put your minds on change. You know, let me ask you this. How many of you, by show of hands in this room, love change? How many of you love change? Oh, come on, Carl left the room, didn't he? You don't have to put those hands up. Yeah, what we found about people that love change, the following is usually true. I understand the change. I believe it's needed. I'm bought in. It's the right thing to do. I'm engaged. I know how to make the link between what I do and where we need to go, and I can get my people engaged. That's how most people like that type of change. How many like this type of change? You better get out there and make it happen. You better roll that new system out. You better get them to change. How many like that type of change? Yeah, you like that type of change. But think about often what the job is of a leader or a manager or a supervisor. How often do we get that dictate, that mandate to get out there and make it happen? That's typically what we see. What's your name, sir? Jacob, put out your strongest hand up in the air. Jacob? So Jacob, why did you push back on me when I just pushed on you? You wanted to. It's human nature, gang. I'll tell you what. When you push something on somebody, it is human nature. They will push back if they don't understand, believe, buy in, and if they're not engaged, they will push back. And that's what you see. How many times have you had to roll a new process or system out and you get this pushback? It's human nature. How many of you like to be told you have to change? How many of you are married? It doesn't work so well. I can tell. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do is I want to provide you and put your minds on change. I want you to experience a personal change right now. So I'm going to provide all of you in this room a new numbering system. You can memorize this any way you want. You're all very sharp people, much smarter than I am, but I need you to embrace this new change because from this point forward, this is the new way we will memorize numbers. There's the current system that we're all used to. And by the way, this is an easy change, not a big deal. You guys should be able to embrace this and accept it pretty quickly and understand it. The new system looks like that. So you have 45 seconds to memorize this any way you can. So go ahead. So how many of you already are saying, what in the world is going on here? Why are we doing this? I've used the old system for years. It suited me fine. What's the need for change? How many of you thinking, I've tried something like this before and it's never worked for me? Has anybody tried to put a system to the process? Anybody see 2 lines, 3 lines, 2 lines, 3 lines? Good luck. How many have in their mind, as you're kind of on chaos right now? What happens to your mind when you're on chaos? It tends to shut down, right? All right, so what I'd ask you to do is with the new system, by the way, anything you used or wrote down or took pictures with your phones, which I saw, you can't use it, so flip over any notes. Now on a clean sheet of paper, flip your other one around. I need you to write down this number using the new system. Using the new, and by the way, if you get this right, you get to keep your job. The number is 2,976. 2,976. Go ahead and write it down. Anybody think they got it? Not a whole lot of hands, huh? How many of you, by show of hands, started to try to write down the new number? How many started to try to write the number by first writing the old symbols down? So let me ask you, are you managing or leading? You manage what you know, you lead where you want to go. Do you see how tough it is to move on? We cling to what we know. Think about that as it relates to change. Now, would it be helpful, gang, if I could provide to you a system where you could memorize and internalize this new numbering system within 2 seconds, and it will be burnt into your minds that you will never forget it again? Would that be helpful? By the way, what also is needed to embrace change and to actually accept it? How about willingness? How about what's the reason? Why are we doing this? Well, here it is, gang, 2 seconds. 1001, 1002. Is there ever a time from this day forward that you will not know how to use the new system? Do you see when we put some process and a system around that change, your mind's almost release. And you say, I get it. It makes sense. I'm in. I can do this. That's what exemplary leaders will do for their people. They will paint such a crystal clear picture of the future, of where we can be, that people will dive in and suck it up and say, I want in. How can I help? You create a want to environment rather than a have to, a pull versus a push, a get to rather than you're forced to, a commitment versus compliance. Effective leaders paint such a crystal clear picture of the future, your people will suck it up and they'll want to be involved. That's the difference between getting people involved and providing a system, and also the 8 steps for leading change is a system to help you accomplish just that. So here's the 8 steps for leading change, categorized into 4 groupings. The first grouping is setting the stage, which really includes the first 2 steps of leading change. Establishing a sense of urgency and creating the guiding coalition. And by the way, this is in the workbook that's on your table. You don't have to take all detailed notes here. The second grouping is selecting the change. Well, what do we actually want to change? The fourth grouping is all about making it happen. Communicating for buy-in, empowering broad-based action, generating short-term wins, and never letting up. And finally, the fourth grouping is all about incorporating the change and the ability to continue with change into your DNA of your organization. Becoming self-sufficient, being able to do this around any defined change in the future from here to eternity.